What are your two favorite sitcom episodes? Sitcom being situation comedies. I think that's a great question. It turns out it's actually a little harder than it sounds.
Okay.
It is. Did you have a difficult time coming up with an answer for that one?
You know what? I truly did not. But the two things that popped into my mind that I think, it's tough to say your two favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got so many. But
that was the hard part.
Right. Here's the part that if people knew me, and I think you know me well enough, you're probably going to say, I bet Pat's going to go at least one episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But I didn't do any Seinfeld at all.
Okay.
So, but I do have two separate ones in the same decade, the same actual probably genre of time or period of time.
See, that was another thing. We could have divided this up into eras, into sitcom like television eras, because there's so many. As a matter of fact, I looked this up. According to the FX Content Research, the estimated number of adult scripted original series in 2021 was 559. So that's across cable, broadcast TV, and streaming service.
Wow.
Yeah, and check this out. Now, here's how big of impact, you have the different genres in your, television programming. Well, in 2020, they conducted a survey in the United States that showed the drama was the most in-demand genre with approximately 38% of the share. Coming in second was comedy with about 19%.
Wow.
So that's a big chunk. It's almost 20%, right? That's almost a fifth of the programming. So that's a lot to choose from. Okay. So my honorable mentions, like my first one, and it was just because of the scene in the episode. This was season 4. The episode was called Dennis Reynolds' An Erotic Life. It's from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
When Sweet D does stand up, I'm going to put the link. I found that scene on YouTube. I'm going to put the link to that.
Good, because I did not see that particular episode, but I remember the show back, especially when it first came out, right?
It's hilarious. Yeah, this is like season 4.
Wow. Okay.
So that was like 10 years ago. So my second honorable mention is almost every episode of The Jeffersons.
Yeah, well, yeah.
The Jeffersons was just a solid show, man. That was just funny every episode.
Yeah. I mean, and who didn't sing along with the song when it came on?
I know. Everybody's moving on up.
Everyone, a couple of words I messed up because we had no Google back then. I couldn't research lyrics. Yeah. But right, exactly. Oh man, no, you're right though. Great show, man. And then that was just like an extension of All in the Family, which is, those are tough choices. Like, man, there's like so many good shows back then, right?
That you don't realize actually spoke to like social conscience. Like whatever's going on during that time, politically and, socially. So it's like, a lot of social commentary. So that was a big difference.
Huge, and done in a funny way. I mean, and it was acceptable. Like I said, when we all talk about it, imagine, when you look at some of those old shows now and you watch, like you said, Jefferson's, All in the Family, even Good Time, stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you had a kid, a teenager or a person in their 20s watching that, they'd fall over. They wouldn't believe that was on network television.
So you want to go first with your first one, or you want me to go first?
All right, I will throw out there. I already mentioned the show a couple seconds ago. I went with, and mostly it was because of the scene, like you said earlier. It was All in the Family. It was when Sammy Davis Jr. made an appearance, and then at the end of the show, they're all taking a picture together. And I think you remember, they're all taking a picture together, and Sammy counts and he goes, "Okay, 1, 2, 3," and he turns and he kisses Archie on the cheek just as they took the picture. And he's got the lips on his cheek, and he's looking and smiling, And then just the look on Archie's face, just that drawn, that sunken look, and the crowd's going crazy, and the smile on Sammy Davis's face, because the whole show was about that. And then you know how it was always a white-black thing. And so that was that episode, though, was just that one, just the whole thing culminated with that kiss. And that just, in fact, I just saw it maybe a few months ago, like on, I even forgot what local channel, not Me TV, I don't think, just some local, or maybe one of the free streaming things on Roku.
Yeah.
Maybe I caught it. And you could just stream you could just on demand, just all the seasons, man. So
That's
that
cool.
right there, that was one of the ones that got me back in the All in the Family days in the 1970s. That was
Nice. Well, speaking of the 70s, my first one, actually, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of these are from back when we were kids,
Yeah.
This is what we remember. And that's why it's so valuable, because it's like these are the ones that pop in our heads.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, this is from season 1, episode 7, WKRP in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Turkeys away. The turkey drop. That is it's a slow start. It's a slow start on the episode. It's a slow burn. But man, you get the turkey drop. That is so hilarious. It's hilarious right now.
It's
That whole thing, when they get to that part, that's it. Hilarious at any time.
Once you said WKRP, I'm like, I bet you was going to say that.
Oh, that's just a classic.
Oh, it's great. No, it's great. All right, here we go. All right, so this is another one. I'm like, oh God, there's so many. But so I guess this one maybe wasn't that funny, but it was in a sitcom. And the whole episode was kind of, I guess, a little more serious. And I don't have the season and the episodes like you do. See, I'm not as professional. But it was MASH.
Man.
Okay, the sitcom MASH, and I did. That was one of my favorites growing up. So there was Hawkeye Pierce, and there was like a Korean general or colonel or something in the camp, the Mobile Army Surgical Hospital camp, and he was trying to procure someone that they had in the camp, a Korean person. I believe they were treating, or there was some kind of family difficulty, and he had to take her back or take her out of the camp, and they didn't want him to take her, and they're trying to like say, hey, be cool, man, we're all humans. And at the last part, Hawkeye gets so mad, and he goes, you son of a bitch. And he called him a son of a bitch. This was on CBS. And I was a young kid, and I never heard, especially in a sitcom on regular TV, I never heard anyone curse like that. I've heard hell or, damn, but that to me was like, whoa. And that blew me away because it was such a serious scene. And that made, even to this day, I'm like, wow, that was like eye-opening. I never heard that before. Plus, it just made me go it just made me drop my jaw, like there was nothing funny about that because it was a serious scene, So that was one of my attention. That was great. But if anyone knows the show, and again, go back to see the show, Google it, YouTube it, it's hilarious. But they had some really serious scenes and shows sometimes because it was during the Korean War, so there was some serious stuff.
If you think about it, that was probably like one of the first dramedies. If you think about it,
you could call it, yeah.
The difference was that they added that laugh track.
I know.
That was actually like like one of the first single camera sitcoms way back then. If you think about how things progressed, that's where it started.
Oh, okay.
The difference is back then, everything was on film. Now everything's on video. Yeah. But it wasn't shot in the studio.
No.
It was shot on location. There was no audience.
Right.
They added laughter.
Yeah.
If they didn't add that, it would look like any of the shows today. Yeah.
No, you're right. And that I love that show for that reason, where it was that Hawkeye Pierce kind of it was mostly him, even though he with Trapper John and BJ Honeycutt, his sidekicks, his best friends, there was always the banter going back and forth. But Pierce, played by Alan Alda, always had that kind of a Groucho Marx-ish type delivery, like he does
Yeah.
those one-liners sometimes.
Yeah, well, he'd do them sometimes, you know. Well, here's my second one, and I did not find the episode number and everything for this one.
Okay,
So this
slacker.
is just off memory.
All right.
So this was from Happy Days.
Okay.
Now this was when after Arnold has already left, and now Al is running the restaurant.
Okay.
For those people that are watching that have watched the show, they're familiar. So this is Al, and he was basically, for those who haven't seen the show or are familiar, he was the cook, he was the chef, you know, he ran the restaurant, and he was the underdog. He was always the underdog.
Mhm.
Well, this was the episode where he finally stops getting taken advantage of from the woman that he's been dating. You know, she's taking him for granted. So he tells her that he deserves better. That's the one, man. Takes his restaurant. I deserve better. And then he yeps his way out of there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
but there's a ton of them. So
That's it.
I'm sure if people are watching this, maybe they have different ones.
And that's what we want to do. We want to encourage people to hit up, because we're going to have this on our Comedians Uncorked YouTube channel, folks. So, while you're there, please hit subscribe. We really appreciate that. And yeah, leave your comments. We gave you our two, and then actually Tony gave you a couple extra with his honorable mentions. I'll throw one out there. I probably find a couple from the Addams Family.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because again, when I watched that on, I got the Pluto app on my Roku. So
yeah, okay,
dude, that's got the Johnny Carson channel and everything too.
Yeah.
But the Addams Family channel, and I never knew. I swear to God, it was like late last year. I just sat down and I'm just watching like for hours. And that rapid fire one-liner from John Aston, right? Gomez Addams.
Yeah.
Again, very Groucho Marx like. Plus, he had the cigar, and you'd see him sometimes. He'd do the punchline.
There's
and
always
go,
a
"That's
reference.
crazy." Yeah, his head would go like this, and he'd do the cigar thing. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like
Yeah.
it was just some of the lines, and again, same thing with the laugh track.
Yeah.
But it was just so the timing was so good with him.
Well,
and,
there's some good ones now, you know. It's like there's some really good ones in every era. Like right now, there's some good ones on network, you know, like The Neighborhood.
Okay.
With the Cedric the Entertainer. That's a really good show.
Okay.
That's really well written.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so that's a fun one to watch. Yeah, leave your comments. Let us know what your favorites are, and what we should catch up on. You know,
that's a good point. Let me know, because I go back to, and the show just ended with Andy Samberg, but I enjoyed that Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah,
I thought that was good. So let me ask you real quick though: do you think with all these shows though, do you think those sitcoms are a dying breed, or they just don't have the freedom as they once had, or is it all still about the writing? How do you feel about current sitcoms?
Well, I mean, it's always going to be about the writing.
Yeah.
You know, if there's no story, there's no show. But no, I think that because of all the available avenues for shows, for content to be made, you're actually going to prolong the life of some of these genres, because now there's a place for that audience to go, you know, even if it's niche, even if it's just a smaller platform or a smaller audience, it can be done, you know.
Okay.
It can be afforded to be done because it doesn't require as much. But no, I don't think anything is going away. I just think the audiences are going to be smaller because it's so spread out, you know. So,
Correct. Right.
You know, being famous now is not like being famous back in the day, because people that were famous back in the day are still famous today.
Mhm.
And people that get famous now are famous for like 5 minutes because, you know, they get wiped out by the wave. But, you know, when you're the difference between, like, you know, now it's like you might have 2 million people watching your show.
Right.
Back in the day, you're talking about 20 million.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
so at the same time, you know, this wasn't like you can go and download it.
Right.
Everybody was sitting in front of the TV at the very same time.
Same time.
So everybody got it. And that's why the water cooler was such a big deal back in the day, because everybody could talk about it there was no spoiler alerts, everybody already saw it. So,
Yeah.
but
And
yeah, that's the difference.
yeah.
So
That's the first thing you said the next day at work. Hey, did you see that shit that was showing last night?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about that? You go, yeah. And you start talking about going over lines. Yeah. So
that's why sports is still a number one topic, because you have to see it at that time. So,
right. Thank God. I know. But people will try and change that too, but it's not going to happen, folks.
Not easily.
All right, let's go. Well, listen, guys, thanks again. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Click subscribe here on our YouTube channel. And for Tony God, my name is Pat Largo. Thank